Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be a very quick review video on these two Danessa Myricks cheek and lip palettes. These are two palettes which were launched recently and I couldn't pick out of the two, so I picked both of them. So this one is the more nudie, neutral kind, and this one has more peachy, pinky colors. Okay, so this is the first palette which I'm going to talk about. This is how the packaging looks like. Very sleek, very simple. The Dewy Cheek and Lip palette in the shade Do It Flirty. It has these peachy, pink, nudie kind of vibes. Very pretty colors in here. Each palette contains 6.5 grams of product. So that means there are 4 blushes. So each blush is 6.5 grams. And all the details are mentioned at the back of the palette. This is supposed to be a hydrating ultra luxe cheek and lip cream palette filled with 4 multi-use shades which can be used on both lips as well as the cheeks. So all the details are mentioned here. Let me open this one, the Do It Flirty. This is how it opens. There is a nice looking palette inside. This is how it looks. It's a clear acrylic packaging. And obviously I have used this, so you can say mine is not brand new. So as you can see, the packaging is quite basic, very simple acrylic packaging. It has some details mentioned here as well. So there are 4 shades in here. Let's see the shade names which are mentioned right here. This one is Tease, XOXO Sweet Cheeks and Coquet. Okay, so let me open this up. This is how the packaging is actually very smooth, very easy to open. It's not very difficult. Sometimes these kind of acrylic packaging can be a little difficult to open. This one is not like that. It's sturdy, sleek, and it's secure. It's not loose as well. So this is how the 4 shades are in this palette. There's a light peachy one. Then there is a more deeper peachy one. This has a little bit of shimmer flakes in it. This one is a berry and this one is a mauvey pink one. Very beautiful. The texture is very creamy. I hope you can see clearly. So these can be applied on your cheek or your lips with your fingers. You can take a little bit, apply it with your fingers, or you can use a brush. I will show you my favorite kind of brush later. But yeah, first we'll see the swatches. So this one is the first one, which is called Coquet. So this is that peachy, light peachy one. This is how the shade looks like. It's very pretty. It's a little light for my kind of skin tone, but I can still make it work. So I just swatched it on my arms as well. Here you can see Coquette. So this is like on my skin tone, it looks a little bit like a light pink. That peachiness kind of goes away, that corally tone. Looks a little like a light pink blush. And let's move on to the next shade, which is called Sweet Cheeks. And you have to dig it in a little bit because these are pigmented, but they are not superly extra pigmented. You can just take a lot of it and they blend out pretty beautifully on the skin. And here is how Sweet Cheeks looks like. It has a little bit of a sheen, a little bit shinier than the others in the palette, and it has that orangey vibe. It is just super beautiful. I have taken a lot, but if you blend it out right, it will blend very nicely on the skin. I'm just showing you how pigmented and how it looks if you take quite a lot. But if you blend it out, see, it looks really pretty. So this one is the second one, which is called Sweet Cheeks. I think this one is one of my favorites from the palette. It's just beautiful color. Next, of course, we move on to that bright berry pink tone. Beautiful. So let me take a lot of it. Even if you take a lot, it blends out very beautifully. Look at that. That's the berry pink. And I love the texture. Super creamy. And the blend is just beautiful on the skin. There is no patchiness or nothing. There is patchiness with one of the shades. I will show that to you as well. But I think with the right brush, it should be fine. So that's the shade XOXO, which is that bright pinky berry color. This is also a beautiful color. And if I blend it out a little bit more, you can see how it looks. Wow, so nice. Really like it. And the last one is of course that mauvey pink tone in the palette. It's very pretty. This is also like one of my favorite ones from the palette, and I just love wearing this one. This is how this shade looks like. On my skin tone though, this one looks more pink rather than mauvey. This is that mauvey toned pink. I don't know, somehow that mauve kind of disappears on my skin tone and it looks more pink. I wish it looked more like this on my skin tone. Yeah, but this is how this one looks like. They're also very pretty. Looks more pink on me. Okay, so those are all the 4 shades in this palette. Dew It Flirty, Pretty Pinks and Peaches. All the shades blend out beautifully. With any of the shades, I haven't faced any kind of patchiness. All of them just worked great. The only thing we have to take in mind or keep in mind is that all of these, they don't settle down on the face. They stay creamy, and that is why they are very hydrating. So we have to set them up with a different blush topper, or like a powder blush or loose powder. My favorite is to apply a lot of it on the cheeks and then apply loose powder on top. That just looks beautiful and stays quite long on the face. The other palette which I purchased is of course this one, which has more neutral, nudie kind of vibes. This one is called Dew It Undercover. Here you go, Dew It Undercover, and it has all of these kind of shades in the palette. So this is very good for those of you who are not into very pinky blushes, and if you want some neutral nude kind of lip colors, this is a really good one. This will suit a lot of deeper skin tones as well. Here you go, this is the palette. Let's look at this one. Look at all the shades. They feel like lip colors to me. I'll of course use this as blushes as well, but they are so beautiful like as a lip color. So these are all the shades which are in here. We have Hush Hush, Nuditude, Wallflower and Top Secret. Okay, so let me swatch these as well. Here you go. I have used all of them, so these are kind of messed up. The only shade I would say which is a little bit patchy for me is this color right here in this palette. This shade, which is the shade Top Secret. You have to blend it a little bit nicely and take a little bit more time to blend this out. Otherwise it can stay patchy. That's the only thing I faced and the only thing I noticed between both the 2 palettes. The previous palette, no issues, nothing at all. This palette faced a little bit of issue with this color. Okay, so let me swatch this one first, which is called Hush Hush, which is very similar to the one which is there in the other palette as well. This one is a little less corally, a little less peachy. It's more neutral nude. These colors are just super long wearing on the skin, so it was quite difficult to remove the previous layer just with micellar water. I had to really dig in to get the colors off. So when you set them with powder, they will stay really long on the cheeks. Light peachy pink color on me. This one, which is called Hush Hush. Super pretty, right? This is like very good for everyday. Let's move on to the next one, which is that brownish ochre kind of a color, like a deep brown ochre. This is also really nice. And this is quite pigmented. This is how this one looks like. I'll just apply a little bit more. This can look like a very nice bronzy color on my skin as well, on my skin tone. So this can be both a blush bronze kind of a product. Love that color. The next one is this one, which is called Nuditude. No, I'm sorry, this one is called Wallflower. So let's take Wallflower. This is beautiful. This has a slight berry kind of an undertone, and I really like that. Wallflower. This one and the other one, this one, they tend to get a little patchy if not blended properly. So have to take care of that. This is Wallflower. Beautiful color. Quite a versatile palette, I would say, because you get some peachy tones, some brown tones, a pinky tone as well. And then we move on to the last one, which is called Top Secret. It's really nicely pigmented. Look at that. Look at that pigmentation. So with this one you have to be a little bit careful because it's really pigmented. So but it blends quite nicely. You have to take a little bit of time to blend this out, otherwise it can get patchy. So it has that plummy berry brown undertone. Very pretty. This will be so good on deeper skin tone than mine, and even on me, of course. I can wear it very nicely. This is called Top Secret. Here also you can see that it appears a little bit patchy. So as I was saying, just take time to blend this color out, then it will look really nice. So pretty. I love these colors, and I love that all the 4 colors in both the palettes are quite different from each other. Lastly, here are both the palettes side by side, and I'll just give you a close-up as well, side by side close-up. Here you go. As you can see, this one and this one, they're not very similar. This one is more corally peachy, and none of the colors are actually similar to each other. They're quite different on the skin. So these are the 2 Danessa Myricks cream palettes, cream blush palettes, which I have loved. And the brush which I will highly recommend for these 2 palettes is this one. You can use your fingertips to apply the blushes very nicely, but recently I have purchased this brush. This is the Huda Beauty Face Cheek Color brush. This is the brush, and it's basically a stippling brush, and I have other stippling brushes, but somehow this brush just blends the blush beautifully. Somehow it just, I don't know, the texture of this brush bristles, they are so nice, and the cream blushes just blend like a dream. So if you are looking for a cream blush, nowadays like cream blushes are so in fashion. If you're looking for a cream blush brush, that's a tongue twister. Yeah, this is a really good one. I love this one. Super soft but still firm, that it blends the product nicely. Okay, so that's the blush I would recommend, and these blushes can be also applied as lip colors. So what I would suggest is that you if you are using this palette, then this palette, I think these 2 colors can be applied pretty easily with your fingers, and you will get a pretty nice subtle layer of lip color. But all the shades, I would say, they are not like super intense for very intense lipsticks. So you don't feel like, okay, you will get a very intense this kind of a color on the lip if you apply with your fingers. I would suggest you can use a stool like this, which is like a spatula kind of a thing, and you can dig out the product, especially these lighter colors. Suppose you want to apply a little bit of this berry. If you dig out a little bit of the berry and then apply with a brush, you will get more pigmentation on the lips. See, now you can see. See, now you'll be able to see how pigmented this one is. And if you apply with a lip brush and use, like, take out a little bit and then apply, you will get more pigmentation. But yeah, if you want just a slight bit of color on the lips, not too much, then you can just use your fingers just as a light wash of color. Don't expect too much pigmentation at one go. So that's one thing I would like to point out if you want to use this palettes as lip colors as well. Otherwise, as blushes, superb. Love the pigmentation, love how easily they blend. Just apply a very nice glowy loose powder or a matte one, whatever your preference is. Just apply some loose powder if you want. You can also apply a light dusting of any other similar powder blush, so it will stay on your face for a really long time, for 5-6 hours minimum. I have noticed that they stay on pretty well. So yeah, those are the 2 Danessa Myricks cheek products. Nowadays the cream blushes are really in fashion, so if you're looking to invest in one, I would highly recommend these, the Danessa Myricks one. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you found this video helpful. Do give this one a thumbs up, and I will see you guys really soon in my next one. Thank you.